What's up, chat? Welcome to part 2 of my Black Vampire series, and this is Claudia part 2. So I wanted to do a part 2 because there's 2 actresses, and I think they both did an amazing job. This hasn't been done since, well, My Wife and Kids, or Viz with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Anyway, chat, this hasn't been done for a while, but it actually turned out really well, and let me tell y'all why. So y'all notice how Louis telling the story, and he's seeming to forget how events went. And the interviewer is actually helping him. It's almost like therapy, helping him remember. The interviewer like, wait, that couldn't have happened. So of course his depiction in his mind of Claudia, and this happened probably hundreds of years ago, is different. Like, for example, do you remember exactly a story and how exactly it went at 5 years old versus how someone told you went when you were 5 years old? So of course Claudia seemed more innocent, more cute, and more cuddly, even as a vampire in season 1. So season 2, this is how she realistically looked and behaved, more like Delaney. And season 1, she was more like Bailey Bass, you know? And when I tell y'all, Delaney ate? Y'all was worried about her as a replacement. When I felt like she held it down, might even be she held it down a little bit more. Like, what? I done forgot she was a little girl and everything in this movie, how she was talking. Like, she's a great actress. When Delaney was in that theater and said she had an announcement for everybody and she wanted to say one last thing, and she said, hey, sir, you in the hot, do you mind taking your hat off? And before I go, I want to say, if there is an afterlife, I'm going to hunt and haunt every single one of you. If there isn't, I'm still gonna figure out a way. Y'all, chat, tell me the lady did not eat. That whole scene, tell me she didn't eat, bro. And she was just like Louis, but just like in a different vibe. She wanted family, she wanted love, she wanted all these things as well, just like him. But she wasn't willing to lie down and roll over for it. And I know y'all be in my comments and chat, oh, I love Louis, because y'all don't care for my Louis slander. It is not even Louis slander, I just wanted him to stand up for himself. So this next season, he better stand on business, y'all. I know a lot of twists and turns are coming. I know Akasha is coming back into place since Louis is back in his life. There's a lot going on, Chad. But Claudia, being an abomination, how they said, she held it down. And honestly, that vampire coven never messed with her anyway. They never liked her. 1, she was black. 2, she was an abomination. They was not allowed to have children or crippled vampires. That this is their rules, not mine. And she was always really sassy at the mouth. Not to mention, this is Europe, y'all. So shout out to Kirsten for